new season of the Right Along with Vanessa morning show starts now. This week's episode is sponsored by Dollhouse of Tampa Salon and Studio. Find your inner doll. They offer quick weave, sew-ins, and much, much more to fit every occasion. Need a wig? Selena's got you. She will customize a unit just for you. Book your next appointment on Booksy today. Did someone say nails? Honey, forget the Bayhive. Contact Queen Bee herself. She offers customized designer nails and even designer press-ons that she will customize and ship to you. Braids, and even twists. Book with Tiffany right on Facebook. Find your inner doll at Dollhouse Tampa Salon and Studio. Tampa. The Stay in Love TV podcast is here. Enjoy topics that will inspire, encourage, and empower you. Why not listen together? Stay in Love TV, now on Spotify. This week's episode is sponsored by Hustle and Bling. It don't mean a thing if you ain't got that bling. Lovely paparazzi designer pieces for only $5. That's right, $5. And don't worry about it if the kid gets in the jewelry box. They're only $5. Make sure you catch Allison Mondays and Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays live on Instagram and Facebook, promoting some of these wonderful fashion fixes that you'll enjoy. And if you miss it, check out the website. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that bling. Hustle and Bling. Stay in Love TV is your production to distribution solution to getting your message seen and heard. Having your own TV show with Stay in Love TV has never been easier than now. Stay in Love TV gives you the power to share your message with the world. Stop watching TV and start being watched on TV. Stay in Love TV offers real-time multicasting, all with one click. This opportunity puts you on the world stage with an audience of over 200 million. In addition to your low monthly subscription fees, you will also receive monthly network coaching and training from the network itself to ensure that before your first show premieres, you are set up for success. We at Stay in Love TV bring over 20 years experience in sales, marketing, advertising, and business development. Stay in Love TV, purposeful entertainment driven by love, empowered with passion, fueled with faith. Go to www.stayinlovetv.com and let's get started. Hello everyone. I am Vanessa Klinger, your intuitive life strategist and life coach motivator. Welcome to the Right Along with Vanessa morning show, where we provide you 100% free coaching at your service. Raw, real enlightenment at its best. So come on in and enjoy the ride as we take you higher into the dimensions of God. It's a brand new season. We're in a brand new city. And guess what? Everything is going your way. You guys ready? Let's go! Hello, everyone. How are you? I am Vanessa Klinger, your intuitive life strategist and life coach motivator. Welcome to the Right Along with Vanessa morning show, where we provide you 100% free coaching at your service. Raw, real enlightenment at its best. So come on in and enjoy the ride as we take you higher into the dimensions of God. How are you guys doing on this fun, fantastic, funky Friday? I hope you guys had a great week. I hope you've had an enlightening week. I hope you've had a victorious week. But yeah, it is Friday. Fun, fantastic, funky Friday. And I am back. So we are here.
Started from the bottom. That's right. Yeah, yeah. So welcome everyone. I am Vanessa Klinger, your intuitive life strategist and life coach motivator. And it is Fun, Fantastic, Funky Friday, the Right Along with Vanessa morning show. And we're going to get started. You know, it's so much been happening this week to me personally. But I'm here. You know, I'm still here. And I'm keeping it moving because I know and believe in my heart that after everything that I've experienced in my lifetime, that it can only get better from here because of what I've contributed to my outcome, right? Contributed to my outcome. So let me just get set up here and so that I can check in on my social media folks. We got that going. So let's go back here and let's see. Yep, we're right here. So yeah, how you guys doing? Hmm? Yeah, yeah. I've had a lot on my mind, some things that I've been considering, you know, and I always tell, right? But as I've matured spiritually, I've just decided to just kind of just see, you know, how things pan out, right? And not get too emotionally involved at all in it because I want to take this proactive stance and just kind of weigh everything out, right? But we'll be sharing with that over the coming weeks as to what's going to happen. I don't even know, right? I'm just tuned in, tapped in, and turned on, and I'm totally relying on the outcome that what spirit is trying to let me know what's about to happen. But to all that, you know, we'll follow up with you guys a little later. But welcome everyone. I am Vanessa Klinger, your intuitive life strategist and life coach motivator. And I've had some minor health challenges this week. I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. It's Pluto. But that's okay. It's going to be all right. Um, it's time for the Friday song. So let me put back on my spectacles and let's get started with the Friday song. You guys ready? You can see the descriptions there. And I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt that when I was downloading this song and I started doing this song, it really started to empower me and really awaken my sense of confidence. And that is what I desire as you all adopt this song. It's a Friday song. You guys ready? A one, a two, a one, two, three. It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. Yay! Things are going my way. Things are going my way. Things are going my way. Things are going your way. Things are going your way. Things are going your way. And today is the day. And today is the day. And today is the day. Yeah. Fun, fantastic, funky Friday. Yes, yes, yes. The Friday song. The Friday song. Friday. You know, Friday is it's a good day for me. I mean, it's a Venus day. They say, and I'll accept that. Um, but let's hope and wish and intend that today just keeps getting better and better as it progresses. Amen. Yeah. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Good day, Spirit. Good day, Cozy. Good day, Dr. Wayne. Good day, Stuart Wild. Good day, Cousin Lois. Good day, Uncle Glenn. Good day, host of witnesses. Good day, ancestors, all of you. Thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Yes, yes, yes. All right, let me just get a little warm here. Yeah, so done the Friday song. Now, some of you all know, some of you don't know, but for this entire season of the Right On with Vanessa Morning Show, I have a deliverance prayer that I want to share with each of you, that if you recite it for 30 days and see if God doesn't come through for you by empowering you and equipping you with being delivered from what it is you need to be delivered from. Okay. Yeah. There's some things that we are, because we're crossing over into a new reality, and that reality is the reality of what you've been affirming and believing for the last 3 years. So we're getting ready to cross over into that new reality. And in order to do so, there's some things that you have to leave behind because it's not a part of this new reality experience. And some of those things, because of our personality, our traits, it's hard to let go of. Some of those things, you know, helped us. They're coping mechanisms, right? So this is my 30-day deliverance prayer because I'm ready. I'm ready to cross over and step through the doors into this new experience. I am. I'm ready. So here we go. Dear God, angels, guides, and spirits of our Almighty Creator, source of all things, I desire not to experience this anymore. I don't desire this to be a part of my story anymore. So I'm asking for support to get me in a space where I no longer desire this experience, where may it cause no harm to my body and my soul. I ask that the code be rewritten where I no longer desire this experience. Thank you for empowering me to meet this objective. So, you know, write it to where it aligns and feels right for you, right? This is just an outline, a model, right? It's not the exact, but write something like this, and you'll know, because your spirit will let you know what it is that you need to write and what to say. See, this is all springboarding into this new series that we're launching today. It's the David series. You know, you will know what to say. Your spirit, your higher self will know what you need to say, because your higher self exists at a higher plane, and your higher self exists in that new reality. They've already experienced it. So they know what it's going to take for you to equip you and empower you to get to that new life experience, the one that you've been affirming, the one that you've been believing for, right? So in order to do that, you have to know what to say. So I encourage you to write something and recite it for 30 days and watch and see how your life experience will get better and better and align with that desire. Okay. All right. All right. We are just getting on and getting on, or getting on and getting on with it, right? So we also have a spiritual PSA, is what I call it. And I like it. And, it's just to encourage you. That's the whole intention of Right Along with Vanessa Morning Show, is to encourage, enlighten, and empower you. So are you ready? It's right there in the banner. See it? Are you tired? You worn out? Burned down on religion? Come to me. Get away with me, and you'll recover your life. Come to me. Get away with me, and you will recover your life. Are you tired, worn out? Burned out? Yeah. Come to me. Get away with me, and you will recover your life. It says you will. How? I'll show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me, and you'll learn to live freely and lightly. You'll learn to live freely and lightly. See, when you finally just get out of your own way and stop getting in God's way, getting in the way, the outcome's way, right? He said, it says, Matthew 11:28-30, this is Message translation. Get away with me and you'll recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest. He will make you lie down in green pastures. He will restore your soul. Who is he? God. You. Your spirit knows what it takes to empower you, to equip you, to restore your soul. See, before the foundation of the world, you and God had a conversation. And so you've mapped out and you've written out every little scenario of this life experience. So I encourage you, get away with God, get away with yourself, and learn how to recover your life and learn the unforced rhythms. See, some of y'all trying to make stuff happen. Unforced rhythms of grace. Yep, unforced rhythms of grace. So I encourage you all, take advantage of it. All right. We are just on and popping and moving on and moving on. Can you believe that it's already 17 minutes after? We've covered a lot. We're starting a new series, and it's a 4 or 5 week series on David. And it's Born to Lead. And it's a part of the overarching theme of season 11, which is I want a new me. You know, it's all about becoming new and aligning with that new experience, that new life experience called your higher self, where you get to be a part of all those great things you've been affirming and visualizing and speaking about, believing God for, and getting excited for, and running through your house for, and knowing that God's going to do it for you when you're having those high moments. See, there's a reason why you get excited about it. Why? Because you know that it's possible, and you know that it resonates. It leaps within your spirit because it recognizes that's where I'm supposed to go. I'm not supposed to be a part of this experience. This is where I'm supposed to go. So you get really excited and you begin to praise God and everybody about it. Why? Because it's your indicator. Go here. So all those things, you know, you've been believing for. It's time. It's time. And we started this new series. It's called the David series, and Born to Lead. And where is it? There we go. So what we're going to do, we need to run some commercials. What we're going to do is we're going to run a few commercials, and then when we come back, we're going to be talking about Hidden in Plain Sight. It's the kickoff of the David series, Born to Lead. And so go and grab yourself a refreshing beverage. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about David, Born to Lead. So stay tuned.
Would you like to become a guest on Spiritually Speaking and Awakening? Well, we would love to have you. Join in on the discussions, share your story, promote your product, service, and your upcoming event. Go to www.stayinlovetv.com, leave your details, and we'll contact you.
Get ready for your now awakening. Today's Michelleology returns Memorial Day, only on Stay in Love TV. Join me and the great Michelle Massey Washington for another enlightening episode of Spiritually Speaking and Awakening with a very special guest, Rex Sykes, Mindset Master. Rex has over 40 years of experience helping countless thousands transform their minds, lives, and their money. Join us, won't you? Sunday, May 14th, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Stay in Love TV. Get your copy of Mental Equation, available on Amazon and on Stay in Love TV, today's Michelleology.
Seven.
That's right. That's right. Get your copy of Mental Equation. You can go to Amazon. Or you can go to Stay in Love TV / Michelle Washington. You can get a copy of her book, Me, Mental Equation. Also, very excited. We have a very special guest on this week's Spiritually Speaking and Awakening. The great Rex Sykes, who is a mindset master. Now, I actually met Rex via Clubhouse. And when I heard him speak, I was like, oh my goodness, I need to hear what this man has to say. And he and I have been part of a number of rooms and a part of a team doing the, 2021 was just a year where, we spent so much time in these rooms, mentoring and encouraging people. And I learned so much from Rex. So I'm very excited that he accepted our invitation to become our special guest on Spiritually Speaking and Awakening. He's going to be sharing some great tools and techniques and information. He'll also be sharing from his book, Life on Your Terms, on Your Own Terms. So I'm looking forward to it. So you guys check it out Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Stay in Love TV and all Facebook social media platforms. So looking forward to that. But today, we're going to be talking about, let me get set up here again. Today, we're going to be talking about Hidden in Plain Sight, the David series. And we find it. There we go. And there we go. So the scripture highlight is 1 Samuel 16:13. Hidden in plain sight. So Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him, David, in the presence of his brothers. And from that day on, the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon David. That's the highlight. But, how did we get here? That's what we're going to be talking about today. How did he get to this point where the prophet anointed this young man to be the next king of Israel? We got to go back, right? We got to go, how did this start? Well, what started was they had a current king, Samuel. Now Samuel was chosen by the people. These people, they did not want to rely on God because God's a spirit, right? They wanted a human. We want a king. We want somebody to lead us. We want a leader. Thank you, Spirit. Instead of relying on the God within them, they desired to have an external representation of leader. Instead of relying on the God within them to lead and guide them to all truth, they were relying on a human replication, someone that they could relate to. They couldn't relate to a spirit. That's because they were not aware that they were a spiritual being. They were operating from this place of their physicality. So they wanted a king. So they all, everybody got together and they chose Saul. Why did they choose Saul? They chose because they said he stood high, tall above the rest. He stood above everybody else. He was good looking and he looked like a king. He looked like a king. He looked the part. That's what we want. It appealed to their visual, their senses. We want him, right? So they elect him the king, right? So Saul knew that he wasn't qualified for the position. Read it, read it, read it. He knew, he felt it. He was intimidated. He was like, look, I don't know if I can do this, right? He knew. So here's the thing, people. When people try to position you in places that you're not prepared for, expect a humbling experience to occur. Why? Because you're relying on people, the voices and opinions of others to position you in a place when your spirit is telling you that ain't where you're supposed to be. But you still just go with it. Why? Because you want to please whatever everybody's saying. You want to please them. So they had to go battle. And God told him, look, I want you to kill this king. I want you to kill this threat that's against the kingdom. And I want you not to keep any of the spoil. So, instead of Saul obeying what God was telling him to do, he relied on what some of the people were suggesting. Well, why can't we keep some of this? Then we can sacrifice it to God. Why don't we keep it? Then we can sacrifice it. That's not what God's Spirit told him what he needed to do. See, thank you, Spirit. Thank you so much. You never let me down. See, when you are positioned in some places, you have to be so in tune with what God is telling you, what your spirit is telling you to do. Because there's a reason. But he didn't. He was concerned about what people thought instead of what God thought. So he lost favor in God's eyes. And the prophet Samuel, right? Because Samuel, helped anoint him because he thought he was too. He was like, man, I can't believe Saul blew it. I can't believe it. I'm just like, oh, my boy. And then God was like, look, are you done? He said, I got somebody else. I'm going to show you who it is that I want, who I choose to be king over Israel. I'm going to show you. So rise, he's like, look, now, if I do that, Saul going to kill me. Why would I be going to, I'm supposed to be Saul's prophet. If I do that, he going to kill. He look, I got you. God's like, look, I got you. So he's like, look, okay, this is what he said, okay. God said, take a heifer with you and announce, I've come to lead you in worship of God with this heifer as a sacrifice. Make sure Jesse gets invited. I'll let you know what to do next. I'll point out the one you are to anoint. So God helped him set up a scenario in order to bring out the one that God wanted to be king, right? So when they arrived, this is verse 6 of Samuel 16. Samuel took one look at Eliab and thought, this must be the one. God said, that ain't it. He ain't it. God told Samuel, he said, look, looks ain't everything, okay? You need to get stopped going by what it is, external, what you see. Men and women look at the face. God looks at the heart. I'm reminded, do you know that your heart is the first thing that is a part of your creation? Men and women look at the face. God looks into the heart. So then Samuel said, look, he's not it. Eliab. Then he brought up Abinadab. Samuel said, that ain't God's choice either. Next, Jesse presented Shammah. Samuel said, nope, that ain't the one either. So Jesse brought out all seven of them because just by that time, Jesse was like, "Look, I done showed you the best ones that I believe that is worthy to be king." So we just say, "Okay, come on, all of you, come on out." Excuse me, y'all. So he said no, and then Samuel said, "Look, is this all your sons? Is this all there is?" Just said, well, yeah, there's the runt we got in the field taking care of the sheep, the youngest one." Samuel said, "Go get him." And when he entered the room, God said, "Get up on your feet, anoint him. He's the one hidden in plain sight." So all it all created a scenario, right? See, the people wanted their own version of a king without consulting, without relying on God. And that speaks volumes for us because oftentimes we want things based on the way it looks. We want something external to lead and guide us. When God told us, "I will lead and guide you into all truth. I am the spirit within you that will lead and guide you and show you everything. I am with you forever and always." God was saying all this time, but then the people, some of us, want some external representation to lead us. We are so self-sufficient, self-reliant. We don't need anyone else. Now, wait a minute now. What do I mean by that? We don't need to consult with anyone else except within ourselves. Because when we arrive here, we'll come fully equipped for the journey. Instead of us having a backpack, we got a spiritual pack within us, a spiritual GPS that's going to lead and guide us to everywhere we need to go. If we just trust ourselves. Do you trust yourself? Or do you need somebody else to tell you, turn right, make a left? Or can you rely on your own spiritual GPS? So there he was, anointed. But now that announcement had been made in front of them, look what happened immediately after. It says Samuel took his flask of oil and anointed him with his brothers standing around watching. See, everybody did not think that David would be capable, right? Because when it is announced upon you, when people start speaking to you about something about you, and you be like, wait a minute, what do they see in me that I don't? That's your clue, letting you know of where you're going. People can't really articulate certain things about you, about your purpose and your destiny, but they're going to pull down and speak words that they're familiar with in a way to kind of let you know where you're going. So it says, the Spirit of God entered David like a rush of wind, God vitally empowering him for the rest of his life. How did David get here, though? Let's back up. How did David get here? Now, it's written that, David was a shepherd boy. He tended to the sheep. He just, he was always singing. He always had a song in his heart and everything. And he just, that's all he did. He found safe in the solitude. And is this getting hot? He found safe in the solitude of he found safe in the solitude of just spending time with God and spending time with the sheep. He was a shepherd. So he would he became what, he was told he to do. So he aligned with that role. Unbeknownst to him, that he was his destiny was to be a king, was to rule and reign and lead. So he was with the sheep. He didn't know anything about leading people, but he knew how to lead sheep. And it was something about his approach, the praise. He just wanted to be close to God. He was hopelessly devoted to praising God. And God saw that. God saw that he was not concerned about popularity or anything. He just wanted to please God. And the songs and poems that he wrote to God let God know he's after my own heart. I always often wondered what that meant, after my own heart. There's something about words and how you speak to God. See, it's nothing wrong with, saying certain standardized prayers, but like what I'm trying to tell y'all, rely on what your heart is telling you how to communicate with God. Pray like so, worship like so. So, whatever it is your spirit is inspiring you to do, that's what you do. It's okay to, to model after others, but don't become a robot, you know? Be your own authentic self with how you praise and worship and give gratitude and express gratitude to God. It's the authenticity that moves him. A man after God's own heart. So as he was doing that, he had no idea. He had no idea that God brought him out from the back to the front. And all his brothers were thinking, since the prophet showed up, they're like, what? I have an opportunity to be king, you know. So they all thought it was going to be the oldest. Mm-mm, mm-mm. It wound up being the youngest. So don't fret, my pet, when everybody's getting, this and that and such, and you feel as if you're on the backside of nothing. What does your heart tell you? What is your heart saying to you? What is, how are you really? See, those times of solitude, they can really help you understand something about yourself. I have spent so much time alone with myself that, I've had nothing but time to just communicate and commune with God and really just really allow, my spirit to work on me, right? So I've just, I'm so used to being, alone, point where, there are times where I experience social anxiety where I don't want to be around people. I love people, but uh-uh. And I'm happy about it because I don't feel lonely. And I don't feel alone, right? So I guess David really felt so close to God, and he'd much rather be on the backside of the desert in the field tending to sheep. That just became his norm. God wants to break you free from your norm. He wants to bring you out in front. Now, I'm trying not to, share this lecture on being better than others, being pulled out, this competitiveness. No, what I believe this story is saying is that your sincere authenticity is what's going to move God. Your desire to just love him and not ask for anything. When you start to love the God in you and not ask for anything, just be grateful. And it can be very challenging because of this world we exist in. Not this earth, this world. There's a difference. So he was a man after God's own heart, playing the harp, singing songs, writing poems. He was just loving on God all day. He was singing and entertaining the sheep. I'm sure they were just sitting around smiling. He was just, writing poems. Oh, how I love thee. Let me count the ways. He was just sharing and oversharing his heart. And God was like, look at this. Look at him. He's not desiring material stuff. He's grateful with what he got. He out here with the sheep. And he's showing compassion to my creations. He's after my own heart. He said, that is the type of man that could be. Because God, his grace and mercy endure forever. See, he saw the need in his people's hearts. He says, okay, y'all want a king, but I'm going to give you the one that I desire for you to have. The one who aligns more with being more like me in human form. So I'm going to give you who I believe and who I know is to be the king for you, who I believe is going to be the representation of me in human form. So he anointed him king. Now look now. It says, let me tell you what happened afterwards, right? So all this has happened. They anointed him. God empowered him. So that means that immediately, as soon as he was appointed, and that all represents enlightenment, empowerment. And he anointed him in front of his brothers. And it entered spirit like a rush of wind. And God empowered him for the rest of his life. Once God takes possession of you, come close. Once God takes possession of you, he's going to empower you for the rest of your life. He's going to equip you for the rest of your life. He's going to enlighten you for the rest of your life. There's no turning back when you finally decide and choose that you partner up with God and you allow Christ consciousness, enlightenment, the Spirit of Almighty to lead and guide you. Be with you for the rest of your life. I belong to you and you belong to me too, right? Verse 14. Look what happened over in Saul's house. Now this was over in David's area, right? So look what happened in Saul's life. At that very moment, the Spirit of God left Saul. And in its place, a black mood sent by God settled on him. He was terrified. Now, how did Saul get there? Because Saul disobeyed God's instructions, right? See, every little instruction that you are given, I'm guilty of it too. Excuse me, you all. I'm recovering. As soon, God, see, there's a reason why you have to do certain things. There's a reason why when your spirit is telling you, go left, turn right, don't do that, keep that, don't take that with you, sacrifice, don't take any of it. There's a reason. Why? Because on the other side of you obeying, there's a benefit to your obedience. Okay. Back in 2019, I had to leave my little cottage, my little tree house. I call it, because I manifested it, right? I manifested this tree house. And I thought I'd be there for a minute, a little while. Nope. And I had to leave everything. I just bought everything in that place. The owner had sold the house and I bought the furniture. I mean, I owned it. So I was like, man, I finally own something. But as I was having my dog night of the soul experience, God told me, leave it. Don't put it in storage. Leave it. Only take what you can put in your car. And because I've had experiences with the Lord, I did. I could have sold it. I didn't. I left it. I left it to the new owner. We negotiated. I left it to him. It's like, here you go. And I was disappointed. 6 months later, though, I was in a bigger and better experience. See, there's something about when you obey the Spirit of God within you when He tells you to do certain things. There's something about it. There's a benefit to obeying God. So, whenever God is telling you what to do, please do it. Please obey. Because there's a benefit to it. There's a reason. Because look what happened. Because of his disobedience, it says a black mood sent by God settled on him. God wanted to let him know, look, this is the consequence. When I give you instructions, this is a consequence of not following my instructions. I cannot be a part of you because you are not aligned with me. You are doing what you want to do. You are trying to be a people pleaser because he listened to those the suggestions from others and not the instruction from God. So God said, look, you know what? Okay. Sent by God. That's a whole nother video. Black mood, darkness, dark night of the soul, depression. He knew that God had left him. Now, I'm using that loosely because we know God will never leave you nor forsake you, but God sent a black mood to let him know this is what it feels like when I'm not in your presence. He was always there, but he wanted to show Saul, this is what it feels like when, and he said he was terrified because he knew I should have obeyed God. So as we continue this series, we're gonna dive deep into understanding the psychology behind Saul and David, because it's born to lead. He was born to lead. So we're gonna be continuing this series for the next 4 weeks about David. David was anointed by the prophet Samuel to be the next king of Israel. And he remains hidden in plain sight for a lot of years. And we're going to talk about some of those years and everything that he experienced leading up to when he was all the way probably to the end of his life, depending on how much time we have. But we're going to be talking about that. You're going to be looking at both sides. We're going to be looking at how the consequences of how Saul disobeyed God. We're going to look at, how that played out. We're also going to look at how David was anointed and how that played out. It's going to be a different perspective. And the intention is to enlighten and encourage you. We all know the story, but do we really know why? Right? There's a different viewpoint that I know I can share with some of you about David and Saul. Whole different perspective. It's more than just, him becoming king and his life. There's a lot going on in David's story. There's a lot going on in Saul's story. But as I kicked off this new season with somebody's got to be the bad guy, now maybe it's starting to make sense to some of you all. You have to have an antagonist for every story in order for it to prove a point, right? There's a point to the story. And the point of this story This first one about hidden in plain sight is you never know who's next in line to be represented, to lead. So it's always best that you operate from a place of love and being more like God than you ever could. Not the fact that so that you can be chosen, but the fact so that you can have that true intention of being after God's own heart versus, see, there's something about when you align with God, right? There's something about it when you just totally just not, be caught up on what people think and all this kind of stuff. And you choose, right? There's something about it because what it's going to do, it's going to solidify that relationship that you have with the God in you to the point where you will be so reliant on you, the God in you. And this teaches you how to be all one. It teaches you how to seek ye first, seek him first versus going outside and trying to. It also will help you to implement practices in your life where you are so in tune with God to the point where all this noise can be around you, but you'll know what you need to do because your spirit is telling you. So I encourage each and every one of you, right? Desire to be a person after God's own heart. Desire to be that person where you allow the God within you, where you go after the God within you. How do I become a person after God's own heart? I'm going to tell you. We talked about it by being totally devoted. See, there's something about experiences that really help you determine if you really mean what you say, right? You can run up and down and prophesy and speak in tongues and do all that. But until you go through an experience or you get your metal tested, that's when you start to realize, you know what? I do love God. I may be going through something, a little something right now. But you know what? I don't care about all that stuff. I love God. I love the God in me. And I love who I become because I'm finally detached from all this material stuff. Now, it's challenging. But as many times as I've had to walk away and leave stuff, some of you won't have to go through that all the time. You just have to have one experience, maybe two. But it took me a minute. But then I start to realize, I said, you know what? Here today, gone tomorrow. Here today, back again. And I wouldn't take nothing from a journey now. Nothing. Nothing. Because I know that as long as I am after God's heart and I choose to desire and love God, and along this journey of my life, I know that whatever happens, God's got me. It's a part of my story. And no good thing would he withhold from me. And my blessings are overtaking me day by day. I just know. How do you know that, Vanessa? Because of my experiences. Because of those times that I spent alone with God and myself. Really understanding how I operate and what's really important to me. And what are my motives? And why am I doing what I'm doing? And why am I saying this? And what? All that stuff, right? That happens during those moments of solitude. Where you start to evaluate your why. I'm sure David had an opportunity to really fall in love with God, really. And I hope that you all do too. Well, that's my time. I want to appreciate you all for chiming in. Thank you all for sharing and caring. Thank you all for listening. Next week, we're going to be continuing the series, the David series. Forgive me, guys. My phone is getting hot. For some reason, the sun's not even out today. Weird. Next week, we'll be continuing the David series. So I encourage you all to, come back next Friday, right here, 8 a.m. Central. and enjoy the next episode on the David series, Born to Lead. Sunday, Spiritually Speaking and Awakening. Great Michelle Massey Washington and I, with our special guest, Rex Sykes, Mindset Master. We'll be talking about how to get the mind right. Looking forward to it. You guys are going to love Rex. You're going to love him. He's such a great soul, a great wise soul. You're going to love him. So tune in, 7 p.m. Is it? Yep, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Stay in Love TV. And until next week, you all, I want to thank you all so much. Till next week. Stay in love, everybody. Thank you. Writers, I've partnered with Queen Beauty Studio to purchase these amazing lashes and other deliciousness, like this wonderful matte lipstick I'm wearing. Grab that link. You'll be glad you did. Stay in love.
Stay in Love TV is your production to distribution solution to getting your message seen and heard. Having your own TV show with Stay in Love TV has never been easier than now. Stay in Love TV gives you the power to share your message with the world. Stop watching TV and start being watched on TV. Stay in Love TV offers real-time multicasting, all with one click. This opportunity puts you on the world stage with an audience of over 200 million. In addition to your low monthly subscription fees, you will also receive monthly network coaching and training from the network itself to ensure that before your first show premieres, you are set up for success. We at Stay in Love TV bring over 20 years experience in sales, marketing, advertising, and business development. Stay in Love TV, purposeful entertainment driven by love, empowered with passion, fueled with faith. Go to www.stayinlovetv.com and let's get started.